Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call this meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, January the 20th, 2020. It's 9:30 a.m. We're in the Central Jury Room of the Hood County Justice Center at 1200 West Pearl Street in Granberry, Texas. This is an open meeting of the Commissioners Court of Hood County. We have with us today a very important lady here in Hood County and a very good community. In fact, we got a bunch of good community people here that give their time and money and everything else to this county. But Bill Miller has always arranged to have somebody here to do the invocation, and today he's brought Ms. Kim Irwin from the Brazos Pregnancy Center. Welcome, and she's going to give us the invocation this morning.
Holy Lord God, King of the universe, the God of order and not of chaos. We thank you, Father, for this forum this morning, for these men that have and women that have joined to follow your word, Lord God. I pray for their meeting this morning, that it is pleasing to your ears and that it continues to give glory to you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Okay, would everybody join me in our pledge to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pledge to the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Irwin. Okay, before we go any further, if anybody wants to participate in any of the agenda items here, there are public participation forms that Sheriff Dees has in the back of the room. I have 3 of them so far. So if anybody wants to speak, you have to fill out the public participation form, hand it to Sheriff Dees, and he will hand it to me. So that's any items on the deal. This brings us back to a very special part of our program here today. We have some special service awards, and we're going to recognize 3 individuals. We're going to start with recognizing Ms. Katie Lang for her 5 years here in the county. Everybody knows her, and she is so important. Commissioners, we're 2 commissioners shy this morning. They had real pressing matters outside, and that's Precinct 1 Chairman James Stever and Precinct 3 Bruce White. But we do have a quorum, and so I guess but we want to be here. Katie, is her husband here today? I saw him. There he is right there. I might not get too close to your wife here.
There are a couple of them. Okay. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. We're going to do it next week.
Dave.
We also have 2 very special people here today, Mr. and Mrs. Williams. We'd like for them to come down and be recognized. I want you to know something about these 2 people here. I have seen both of them. Meet so many people. These 2 people right here have given to the animal control for protecting all the animals here. Over the last 5 years, yes, $50,000. I suppose what we need to do, come on up here. Everybody knows who this lady is, and the sheriff up here. I'm telling you, they need to have a golden key to the animal control. Maybe not to the city of Dallas, but definitely to the animal control. $50,000, just think of that. That's fabulous, isn't it? So thank y'all very much. So, Sheriff, you got that form?
Yep. So, on behalf of Hood County and Animal Control, the Sheriff's Office, thank you for all that you've done for the last 5 years with all the things you've helped us accomplish with the animals, with so many different things. There's so many things that Steve mentioned that we couldn't have done it without you and saved a lot of lives because of that. So, I want to present you this.
It's all off together.
Let's get this up there.
All right, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. By the way, I'm up for adoption.
You're a regular dog.
You're not working.
I'm a dog, I'm a pet dog.
I tell you, it's so nice to be here in Hood County where you see so many people that are sitting up here today that have given so much of their time and their money to help such worthwhile projects in this city. And we're getting to some here very quickly here. I mean, just so many people. And this is what makes Hood County such a wonderful place to come to, and why, probably the basic reason why we're the 9th fastest growing county in the whole United States. So I just want to thank everybody that's here, and y'all do such a wonderful job. Okay, is any of the commissioners here want to pull anything off the consent agenda?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to pull off item D, 1, 2, and 3. I'd like to pull that one off for discussion.
Okay, D1, 2, and 3. Okay. All right. Okay. You say 1, 2, and 3?
Now, D1, subsection 3, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Constable Precinct 1, Constable Precinct 4 on a freight charge issue.
Oh, okay. We want to discuss it now?
Sure.
Okay,
Chad, you're on.
okay.
Delton, El Jefe.
I know both of these guys pretty well here. I think everybody else does too. Yeah. Okay.
You wish to start? No. No. Okay, sir, what is your questions and how can we help you with this?
Okay. Well, Chad briefly brought this up to me, and we talked, and he's going to kind of explain
So
the
for
history
several,
of this and what happened.
yeah, you
just very
betcha.
briefly.
Your Honor, Commissioners, for several years, we in the county, there are several agencies of us that participate in the LISO, the Military Surplus Program. One of the things we try and do is look for equipment that the county can utilize in different aspects, and we try not to get things what they call controlled. Controlled means that the government will always get it back. The things we look for a lot of times are new items that are unused and things that we can utilize in the county. And after a year, they fall off, and the county owns that property free gratis. What it's cost us in the past is we pay for shipping, depending upon where it's at, and we end up also going to pick those property items up. We had the occasion we found some lights. We've had the tornado that come through here before. Delton's obtained some generators. I found the lights, so we thought these light systems would be great. So these light systems are valued at over $2,300 a case, and each one of them is self-contained, and all we need are the generators if something happens again. They're brand new, unused. We had them shipped here. We called to get them here, and we're told on a phone conversation with the depot, the military depot, that the only place to do the freight is YRC, which used to be a roadway. We start making arrangements and phone calls, trying to get quotes. The next thing we know, they've picked them up, they're shipped here, and we get our bill. And this is a hard lesson we learned about shipping something from Pennsylvania, and our freight bill was over $3,000. What we're asking for is take that money, because they are the sole source provider for the shipping that we got those items from, to split that between us. We have the money within our budget. We're moving it. It's a hard lesson we've learned about a freight company, and we won't be using a freight company again on any items, and we'll be looking more closely to Texas and Texas only. And that's where we're at with this. Comes before you to move the money out of our line item. After conversations with the auditor, she's happy that we move it down to supplies where it's cleaner for auditing purposes, showing where that's coming from to pay for that shipping. And we're splitting the cost between the two of us. The value to the county is we have over $23,000 worth of lights to be used in another emergency situation.
And what kind of lights are these?
These are fluorescent lights that are self-contained in tubes. There's 4 in a case, and they're in hard cases, and they also have replacement bulbs within them.
So they're emergency floodlights, so to speak.
To an aspect, they're about 2.5 feet long, each of them.
Most of them for building use.
Right.
If we had a building to go out, we have generators to provide lights to an annex or to an office or whatever location is necessary. We can move these lights, plug them in, run the generators, and we've got lighting until the utility company gets in and repairs our damages and such.
But how about you, Becky? Excuse me, I'm sorry, I didn't finished.
This equipment is used for, we have also acquired some tents, and these would be used in tents for command posts and other issues, so.
Emergency use.
Emergency use, yes.
Ms. Kidd? So what is your take on the line item transfers? We good with that?
They have money in their budget, and if you agree, that's what will take place.
What about you, Nelda?
Well, part of my job is to be the budget police of the lines, and that's the way I look at it. I try to make sure things out of the proper budget line. If Becky says they're willing to use supply, I guess that's fine. I would have thought it came out of equipment out of 570, but that's the
It's going from
It's being transferred.
to small equipment.
Okay, then I'm good with that. The problem is, if it's even a problem, is that I need you guys to approve it because it comes outside of the parameters of the quoting requirements that we have.
And we understand that, but since we're a part of this program, which the county judge signs our contract annually, only certain vendors are allowed to go on these bases and pick up these sources. And we have to use the vendor that they designate. They pick it up, weigh it, package it, and ship it to us. And then we take care of the shipping out of supplies or small equipment. So we have no control on what vendor goes in, because they all have to be cleared by the military, because these are on active basis that they're going to these depots to pick up this equipment. Most times we're able to go aboard ourselves through security clearances and pick up these items and bring them back at just fuel cost. But there are occasions when we get things that we believe serve the county in its entirety, not just us. And there are occasions that we are able to locate equipment that is surplus, still in brand new in boxes, but they have to get rid of it. Nobody wants it, and they ship it to us free of charge. We just have to use it for a year, and then we can recycle it and use it countywide. So we have a variety of ways we acquire this property, but it's all for the betterment of Hood County, not just the constables. And so we're using our line item budgets to take care of this item, which we asked for the information, and we didn't get the information until after it was delivered to our location here on Deputy Larry Miller. So we had to do this one.
So if I understand this, the military was willing to give us $23,000 worth of brand-new lighting, new in the box.
Hard case in the original shipping box. It's never been touched, never.
Inside a cardboard box on top of that.
Yes, sir.
But then they told you that they're going to only allow one shipper to come on that military base and get that
Yes, sir.
stuff and
Correct.
ship it to you.
Yes, sir.
So it's either use that particular shipper or
Or none
give
at all.
up the 23,000. So
Correct.
y'all decided to go ahead and do that. Well, like you said, it's, in this particular situation, Elder, there was nobody else you couldn't bid against it, because yeah.
And I agree with that. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
I just need you guys to approve it because of the dollar amount.
Okay, well,
My question, I'm sure you got the answer, do you work with the other, who uses these lights? Would it be the constables or the sheriff, fire marshal, all of them?
Anytime we have a situation occur again, you know,
Okay.
we've got portable.
So who controls the lights, you guys, or, okay? But you work
First
with,
year, it's under our care, custody, and control.
got it.
After a year, it falls off the military's inventory onto Hood County's inventory. And if we have a situation, a building goes down and has no power, then we can move these lights and the generators to that location and use them countywide. Not that we would not do it for the first year. Somebody has a problem, the sheriff or any of the annexes, outlying buildings has a utility disruption, we can move these lights and our generators in to supply them with power and electricity or lights until the utility company gets in and repairs it.
Even one of the generators that Delton's obtained recently would power one of these buildings if we had an emergency.
2.5-ton trailer with a generator that the military uses for lighting up buildings. And so we have that at our disposal. So we pick items that will benefit the county in emergency situations. After what happened to us a few years ago with the tornadoes that came through, those are things that we look to try and recoup and bring into Hood County for everybody's use.
well, do I hear a
Judge,
motion?
with that, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda, which includes transferring, making a line-out adjustment from small supplies to small equipment. And I think you did an outstanding job. It was good judgment to get this stuff. I can see where the county's going to need this or could need it. And it would be, if you need it, sure be nice to have this. So
Amen.
thank you. And all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you,
Passes
gentlemen.
unanimously with quorum here. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay. I have another item on the consent agenda that I want to discuss about. Same thing? Okay. What is this on? Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Okay. This is something that's really dear and near to my heart, which I think is one of the best, what am I going to say, training, one of the best organizations that we have in this county, and it's called Forward Training Center. And I want you to know that this takes men and women that are placed into a situation where they have to go out and secure gainful employment for many reasons, a death or divorce or whatever, and takes these people and trains them, whether it be on computer or how to get a resume, just how to give them confidence to get acclimated into the real world of business. We've got mentors there that use their time and their training and their experience and their education to help people and to see what it does. I've been there and met some of these people that have gone through the program, and what it does is to give these people the confidence, the training, so that they can go out and make a good living for themselves and their families. And I just can't applaud these people enough for doing this. I mean, they have such a wonderful, the Katie Offcut, and is that, I pronounce that right, who is the,
Offit.
Offit,
Yes,
O-F-F-U-T-T.
correct.
It's kind of unusual, it's a good English name there. And Lori and Monica, that are her staff, and then she's got some great volunteers. And I would like to invite, Katie, you and your staff and all the volunteers that are here today to come up here, and the three of us would like our picture taken with you. How about that? And so These people deserve a big round of applause, and I mean that.
I know nobody knows this lady right here, or this lady right here, or this lady right here. Nobody knows this, right? We don't know, we stand behind you. Okay.
I don't think y'all get that. Very nice.
Okay, now, while I'll stay here, I got a proclamation that, you're going to read that, those green tabs there. While we're all up here, I want to read this, it's not that long. But this is an official proclamation for the Forward Training Center. Whereas the Forward Training Center of Hood County is celebrating the outstanding volunteers connected to the center for time given to the many dedicated students working for building a better quality of life. And whereas the Hood County recognizes the important role that continuing education plays in preparing many citizens in Hood County to move forward into better employment, and salutes the hard work these volunteers have given to this cause. And whereas some of the programs offered at the center are jobs for life, faith, and finances, computer classes, general education development, and adult reading and writing, working one-on-one. And whereas the Forward Training volunteers have given up to 56 hours per semester, twice a year, in support of this program. And whereas the center's voluntary positions vary from mentor, instructors, administrators, site leaders, student relation leaders, prayer team, receptionists, photographer, business partnership team, business owners, and operators practicing mock interviews, roundtable discussions, and resume writing teams, nonprofit sharing resources, as well as others giving information on community resources and higher education opportunities at surrounding colleges or trade schools. And whereas graduates take away practical skills such as career assessment, resume, vocational plans, interview skills, and work ethic training, along with the one-on-one mentoring that result in changed lives and hope for the future. Now therefore, I, Ron Massengill, Hood County Judge, do hereby proclaim January the 30th, 2020 as Forward Training Center Volunteers Day, and recognize these outstanding volunteers who have given of themselves to educate, support, and inspire many lives. And I signed it here. This was approved. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. You want to say something here?
I just want to say we are unique in what we do, but we can't do anything without you. I see many people in this room that serve the community in different areas, and all together we make Granberry whole. We fill every need they have, and as we are community and unity, we want to also thank you and the community for proclaiming this volunteer day. We have over 300 volunteers serving, so it's a very big day. We're going to celebrate on the 30th. But I do want to say that we are a team, and let's just continue to work to change lives for the better for our community. Thank you.
Right.
I just took pictures off mine. Okay, good. Well, thank you.
Again, this is what makes Granberry, Granberry.
Are there any more good-looking women we can bring up here to?
Dave wants to know if there's any other people we want to celebrate today. I see a bunch of people out here that deserve to be celebrated. So anyway, we're now down to the business to be discussed and considered for approval. And another good-looking guy here that's important here that works hard for the community, Mr. Don Lenny.
Good to see you.
Road operations. What do you have, Mr. Lenny?
Good morning, Judge Massey, Commissioners. Back on November the 12th of last year, the Commissioners Court had accepted 3 or 4 roadways in Comanche Cove. One of those was Stellar Court. Following that November 12th meeting, early in December, road operations was clearing the right-of-way. Stellar Court is approximately 180 feet in length. 100 foot of that is cul-de-sac, and the other 80 is the straight part that comes off of, right off of the intersecting roadway. When we started clearing brush on the straightaway part, which we did have one power pole, which we could pull that 50 foot, but we only had one power pole that was on the cul-de-sac. We actually needed another point to figure out where the cul-de-sac was. So in mid-December, we got EHT to come in and survey the cul-de-sac. They did find all the pins except for one, and in your packet it's titled, the email's titled Stellar Court Surveyor. And the little drawing is what we've done from that center hub that they gave us for that cul-de-sac, where we discovered that there was a modular home that was within the right-of-way of Stellar Court. We spoke, Commissioner Cotton and I spoke with our county attorney and discussed and went over it. We really didn't know what we were going to do, and then on the 16th, on the other piece of paper that you have is an email from the HOA at Comanche Cove, more or less saying they'll take it back until this gets resolved, and we'll just take it back off our county road system. So that's pretty much where we're at. Looking at what the court what they decide they would like to do on this situation.
I think we have Laura here, or anybody else that wants to speak on this subject before we get into further discussion. I'd like to hear from them.
Yes, we have 3 people that would like to speak on this. We have Caitlin Bedwell and Laura Harris and Mark Hornbuckle. Is that correct? So that's
Yes.
3 that I have on this. Good morning.
Sure,
to all
if you've
of
got
you.
something to bring up to us.
It's just pictures.
Sure.
And I had this nice little speech typed up, but somehow got here without it.
Thanks.
It is my house that's sitting on the survey pin. When the house was brought in, typically it's pin to pin, it's a straight line, but on a cul-de-sac, it's a radius circle. So we're about 7 feet onto the county's easement. Been lots of conversations. Mark Hornbuckle is who we bought the house from. We're asking you to table this motion to give him time to rectify this, which will be costly and time-consuming, but he is willing to do it. So I don't know if you want to ask him any questions.
Yeah, Mr. Hornbuckle, tell us what you're going to do.
Well, we're going to move the house back, and we're going to get it in within the boundary lines of the plat.
Okay.
Okay, so I will be moving the house back.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to make sure where the pin is, and I'm going to go for that, and then we're going to move the house according to that. But it will be in our property lines. Okay?
Yes, ma'am, you want to add to that?
Yeah, I just have a speech I typed up. Good morning, my name is Caitlin Bedwell. My husband, who couldn't be here today, works for Union Pacific Railroad and is working. Our 4 children and myself have lived on Stellar Court for a little over 4 years. Water runs down Stellar Court and around the west side of the cul-de-sac, across our driveway, and then along a natural drainage ditch into Rough Creek. Since the county has cleared our easements in preparation for paving our road, during and several days after a good rain, the water is moving much faster and pulling into our driveway, which prevents us from parking our vehicles on our land. We've been forced to park on technically the road or cul-de-sac. Please do not remove our road from the Hood County Maintenance Program. When we moved on to Stellar Court, our street was nothing but dirt. After many requests to our HOA, they put road base down, which after a big rain or multiple rains, we lose this. We have been fighting our HOA to pave our road and have had our HOA approve in 2018, remove in 2019, approve again, and remove again in late of 2019. We cannot depend on Comanche Cove Owners Association to take care of our roads. For the last 3 years, the HOA has spent less than 10% on each year on maintenance. Please table this issue for 60 days, allowing West Frontier time to move our home, or move the home at 2707 Stellar and the encroachment issue to be resolved. This benefits us all and keeps Stellar Court from being flooded with all the water moving downhill into from Creekview Drive and Corona Drive, since Stellar is downhill from all these intersecting roads.
So I heard you say 60 days. Mr. Hornbuckle, how long was it going to take you to do this?
Yeah, we have good weather, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, good weather.
Our problem is, in the pictures, that front one, I'm standing on the survey pin in the center of Stellar Court. Every road is uphill, and as more and more homes have come in, we've had 4 this year on Creekview come in. It's just creating more of a water issue coming down onto Stellar Court. And again, when we bought the land, we were told it would be paved by our HOA manager, which has not been done. But taking those roads in, Corona, Creekview, and paving them and leaving us to fend for ourselves, all that water's trying to find its way to Rough Creek, just as a natural. So we need our road paved and the drainage put in just to protect us, protect them. And then there's 4 additional lots that are owned by other people that aren't currently occupied. Comanche Cove's becoming a very desirable place to live, believe it or not, because it has that Texas Hill Country type terrain. And when we closed last year, our title company told us it was the most desirable and affordable place to buy land. We have less than $1,000 and 3 lots out there and a beautiful view. So I'm asking you to table this and give us a little bit of comfort that this will be paved and there will be drainage naturally into Rough Creek. And our house will actually be on our land. Yay! And it was honestly a mistake. I think people don't consider the circle and the radius, which intrudes on that flat line.
And it's been overgrown since I've been there for 4 years.
About 30 years since it's had. In fact, my husband traipsed through overgrowth to even set our street signs up. And we had no stop signs, no anything.
Well, I think I can speak for Don that when they get this issue resolved, get the house moved back, we'll come in and then we can pave the court the way we intended to do in the first place. Is that right? Okay.
And on our policy, we're not saying we'll correct things, but we'll do our best.
Okay.
Right.
I think you get a copy of the
Okay.
There's not very many unpaved roads in Hood County, are there?
There's not any county roads that aren't unpaved. There's very few that aren't now.
Okay, so what are we going to do? I know, Mr. Hornbuckle, thank you very much for working with them, and you're going to correct the encroachment issue. And then we have the drainage issue, and is paving the road the only thing is that the solution to it, or is it going to take some excavation? And
They'll be trying to work around the cul-de-sac itself, and hopefully we can find a spot to carry that water and not be on either one of the properties.
We're the very far lots closest to the creek, so our lots circle around the creek, so it comes straight down into, it used to go onto their property before they moved and cleared that lot out, but now it goes around and into mine, down my driveway and through my yard.
And then there's a natural between two of the lots we own of the 3. There's a natural drainage that water's just created, but the house won't be sitting on it. We're raised up above it. So just leaving that natural creek to drain into Rough Creek is going to be fine. We're not going to have and I think Mark's had an engineer look at, or someone. So leaving that to drain naturally would be fine. I just don't want all that water pushed down off paved roads and more houses going up in there, stick-built houses, pushing all that water down, Creek View and off Corona both directions. They don't have anywhere to go but to our lots at the back of the cul-de-sac and then find its way into Rough Creek.
So what's the solution, Don? I mean, what do you?
Well, Judge, I can, maybe I can do this. I will make a motion that we table item A1A, that is for discussion, consider approval of request by Comanche Cove Owners Association to withdraw the application for acceptance of Stellar Court and remove it from the county road system. I'll make a motion to table this for 60 days and see how that works out. And if it does, then we don't have to do anything. We'll just go right in and start doing the work that the county does to maintain that cul-de-sac and drainage. So I would make a motion to table this until, for 60 days.
Is there a second?
I'll second that. The caveat that, with the caveat that Don said about the drainage, the county can't fix all the drainage issues, but what
Can do.
Right? Is that correct? Okay. Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
3 out of the 5, which is a quorum.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming down here. Thank you, Mr. Lenny. All right, Clint Head, Development. First, you set a public hearing for the following replat. Orchards, 12B, lots 3381R-3387R and 3389R-3396R.
Morning, Judge. Morning, Commissioners. We accepted an application for a replat of Orchards 12B. The lots as they are right now is lots 3381 through 3387 and lots 3389 through 3396 in Precinct 2. Staff recommends setting the public hearing for the March 10th, 2020 Commissioners Court.
Okay.
Judge, I'll make that motion to set a public hearing for the replat of Orchards 12B, lots 338-1R through 338-7R and 3389R through 3396R.
I hear a second. All right, motion's been made in second. Any further discussions? All those in favor of making March 10th, 2020, the public hearing for the lots in Orchards as contained in the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And now you have one more. Discuss and consider approval of the following final plat in Orchards, lot 13, I guess.
We have a final plat of Orchards 13. It is a subdividing of 8.351 acres tract in the James W. Moore Survey, abstract number 344, Hood County, Texas. The preliminary plat of Orchards 13 was approved by Commissioners Court at the December 10th, 2019 Commissioners Court. The construction plans have been reviewed and approved by staff and the engineer. The final plat would create 32 single-family lots, 5 common area lots, 2 reserve area lots. The property is located in the Water Quality District of Precinct 2 in the southeastern part of the county and will be served by public water and sewer provided by active municipal utility district. There is one street proposed with this subdivision. The proposed street is 1,407.69 linear feet and 6 alleys, which have a total combined length of 910.26 linear feet. Staff has reviewed this final plat and recommends approval as presented.
Is pecan plantation? I guess that's your purview here, Commissioner Cotton. I hear a motion.
I will make the motion to approve the following final plat, Orchards 13 in Pecan Plantation.
Second.
A motion has been made and second to approve the final plat on Orchards 13. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously, 3-0. Okay. Ms. Kidd.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. This morning, you have all received advance copies of invoices and list of payments due this court. You've also received a list of payments over $10,000. Are there any questions regarding either of these lists? And then the expenditures for this court total $2,955,573.22. We've reviewed all the invoices and recommend payment.
Yep, I'll make the motion to approve the payments of $2,955,573.22.
Second.
Motion been made and second to approve the payment of the invoice as stated in the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Okay.
Item number 2, consider financial reports received and reviewed by the Audit Department for the period of January 1st, 2020 through January 15th, 2020, and take appropriate action. As you have the list, we have received these monthly reports. We see no problems with these and recommend accepting these monthly reports.
Anybody have any question about the final financial reports received and reviewed by the Audit Department for this period?
I'll make the motion that we accept the report as presented by the auditor.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion been made and second to accept the reports as received and reviewed by the Audit Department for this period of time. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Kidd. Okay, under miscellaneous, discuss and take appropriate action for county employees at Annex 2 to find alternate parking to accommodate the closure of Lambert Street between Bridge and Pearl Streets on Friday, April the 24th, 2020, for the annual Granberry Wine Walk event.
Mr. Tiberi, would you mind coming up and tell us what you're going to do?
I know this gentleman here.
So in the strategy of the wine walk, we don't just occupy the square. We occupy clusters around the square, sort of forcing or encouraging our participants to walk around and shop at the different locations and eat at the different restaurants. So last year, we took over Bridge and Crockett. And Crockett presented some problems. We have a little wine warehouse there at Granberry Live, and we had to close the whole street, not half of the street. So we decided this year, we had some willing merchants, Bob's on the Square and Pearl Street Station over on Lambert Street. So we were going to close Crockett and open up Lambert Street. And with that came a couple issues. Those parking lots on the, I guess, the west side of Lambert Street are needed for tents and parking and for the festival on, and Saturday's not typically a problem, but Friday would be a problem for the employees that work. And the other institution was the Presbyterian Church, and we approached them. They didn't have a problem. Of course, Friday and Saturday's not big days for them. So it would definitely impact your workers in that facility on Friday.
And for the court's edification and the public, the Presbyterian parking lot is right next, just west of the Annex 2, correct? And that you've talked to the pastor there.
Correct.
And then Katie Lang has been given the information, and she's all on board asking her employees to park in that lot for that particular day.
Yeah, we went down there on a Thursday, which you would have thought would have been a representative work day, and there seemed to be lots of parking available in the public parking places around there.
And you don't have a problem, right, Katie?
No, I also share the building with environmental.
Yeah, and I think that Jeannie has been, this has been discussed with Jeannie as well, and she's on board as far as moving too. Is that correct?
Yes.
So everybody's happy, right? So you got anything, anybody have any questions?
As long as everybody happy, I'm happy. And if there's a guy right here that knows everything about wine, that's for sure. Okay, well, do I hear a motion?
Yeah, I'm going to move that the county employees at Annex 2 find alternate parking to accommodate closure of Lambert Street between Bridge and Pearl Streets on Friday, April 24th, 2020, for the day to accommodate the annual Granberry Wine Walk.
Second.
Motion been made and second to take appropriate action to close Lambert Street between Bridge and Pearl Streets on Friday, April the 24th, 2020. And Ms. Jeannie and Ms. Katie have agreed that they are in agreement with it. So with that, I'll call a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. You have your street.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks, Katie. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Okay. Item number 2, consider and take appropriate action to approve reclassification of the Assistant Maintenance Director position, CS 9-3, in the amount of $41,774,000 to Maintenance Tech, CS 8-5, to $39,053. Mr. Riley and Ms. Kidd.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. I currently do not, I've got an opening. I don't have an assistant. I'm not going to replace that position. I've asked to replace that position as a tech for, which would be a CS 8-5 at $39,053.
Okay.
So basically, you're taking a position and hiring a new person and downgrading the position to accommodate that title.
That's correct.
He's always saving money.
I took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say, you saved us $51,000. You're a little short this time. It's only $2,500.
I know I could do
You're
better.
going to have to keep it. You've created high expectations for yourself. Is that correct? Ms. Kidd, do you have any problem?
No, sir.
Do you have any problem with this?
I do not.
You didn't? You're all right with it, Ms. Kidd? Okay. Well, all those in favor of
I'll make the motion.
of Jay Riley saving the county some
Yes,
more money. Go
I'll
ahead,
make
Mr.
that.
Cotton.
I'll make that motion to approve reclassification of the Assistant Maintenance Director's position, CS 9-3 at $41,774, to a Maintenance Tech, CS 8-5 at $39,053.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Riley. Thank you, Ms.
Appreciate
Kidd. Okay, this brings us to, well, you're next in line here. Consider and take appropriate action to approve use of the historic courthouse gazebo for Santa's house and the southwest corner of the historic courthouse lawn for Santa Reading House starting on November the 20th of 2020 until takedown on January the 2nd of 2021. And we have Ms. Riley, and then we have Arliss Holland that's going to speak to that. Good, go ahead.
Can
Yeah.
Good morning, Judge. Sorry. I don't like those things. First of all, I want to thank you all very much for all of the support that you have given Santa House. Also, I want to include this gentleman, because without his support and his crew, Granberry Santa House would never be put up, and especially the electrical part that I worry safety. I also want to thank Tammy Dooley at Visit Granberry for all of the support she's done. Our Santas, Ronnie McWillis, who put the house out for the Granberry Santa Library, and all of our elves, adult elves, student elves, just so many people that it's taken to do this.
You're one of those people that are told at the beginning of this that does so much for the community. That is so important. There are so many children, so many underprivileged children that get to come. They were coming by the busloads up there, and they were just thrilled, beyond thrilled. There was people serving them hot chocolate and cookies and s'mores, and this was probably the best and only maybe the Christmas that those children were going to be able to have. So y'all do important work, and it went off without a hitch, and you work well with Mr. Riley there, and y'all work well together, and we're pleased to have y'all here. Pleased to have y'all. That's an important part. We look forward to it. So
We saw 6,478 guests this year.
How many?
6,478. We saw them in 4 weekends and 5 days, or
That's
5
amazing.
nights. Our record was 6,000 in 5 weekends, 4 nights.
That is
So we
just-
beat our record this year.
That is just amazing. That's really amazing, and that helps the merchants, certainly helps the kids and everybody, so that's really, this is kind of a no-brainer for me, but do I hear a motion?
Well, I would like to ask permission, 2 things. The Santa Library House went over really well, and they would like to put just a little bit larger building on the square this year to accommodate the guests that are coming into the library.
How much bigger is it?
Well, right now, we had a 10 by 12, and he was thinking maybe a 12 by 12.
You got plenty of room for that?
There's plenty of room, and I was amazed. The gentleman that brings that and sets that up, it's so non-obtrusive. He doesn't tear up the grass or anything. It's something to see when he sets that building.
It was amazing.
We set it in about, what, 20 minutes?
I don't know, but it scared me.
It's crazy.
I was so worried about it, and it,
They've got the equipment, and they're good at it, and it doesn't take up really any room.
Who is this gentleman?
his name is Ronnie McWillis, and I'm sorry I don't have his company name with me, but it's R&R.
Is he here in Granberry?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
That's another good citizen that's doing this. He
Yes.
doesn't charge anything, I assume.
No. As a matter of fact, he donates not only the building, but he also has to pay for the company to move it in and take it out.
And it's slick.
It's amazing. I was so
a bit
worried.
at first. I thought, how are we gonna move that? And this guy made it look so easy. 2 guys. He's got a special trailer that slides off to the sidewalk, and then he's got I don't know what it is, like a little forklift, and he just moves it around until he gets it set up. Doesn't leave any tracks, doesn't tear up the ground, nothing.
We need to recognize him next year. When we recognize him, we'll put that, remind me, and we'll do that.
Yes, I will.
That's very nice.
Yes, I will.
That's very
He's
nice.
a good guy.
He's a really great guy.
Okay, that was one thing. You said you have
Well,
2 things.
we would like to know, and I still have to do more research on it, but we'd like to know if it would be possible to put a snow machine out there.
What kind of machine?
Snow.
Snow.
Snow machine.
I have to do a little more research, I'll admit.
Yeah, what are you going to do when it's 60 degrees?
Well, fortunately, the snow that comes out of it dissolves by the time it hits the ground. So, yeah, it might freeze in the air, I don't know. It's really more just for ambiance and excitement. We're not exactly sure how to do this yet, where to put it, how to do it, but the possibility of it being there.
We got plenty of time until then, so when you get back with more specifics of where you want to put it, how much space it's going to do, is it real snow? It just will melt then?
Yes,
Okay.
it doesn't even hit the ground. By the
Oh,
time
it
it gets to the ground, it's dispersed.
Dissolved.
Yes.
Okay. I don't see.
That would be the kind that we would go after. I don't think we want to build a big snow mountain for safety reasons.
I think we could do that subject to Jay's approval of seeing this thing and making sure it'll fit into what,
Yeah, we first started talking about this year, and I had a lot of questions about it as well as Arliss, and we just didn't have enough information yet. We'll get more information.
We will.
And maybe try it or see it, or we'll just get the information. We
Sure.
can bring it back at that time.
Yeah, I think we're all in favor, especially if it's going to vaporize and doesn't perform a safety hazard. And I certainly like ambiance. I'm not from New York, so I like snow.
Well, I will admit, safety is my big issue. I won't put anything out there that I think is slick or would cause a problem. And reading on some of this, you don't want the guests to get wet either. If it is cold, if it's 16 degrees, they'd be freezing out there. So we need to make sure it's right.
Okay, well, good. Okay, so what we're going to do then is,
Are you okay on the takedown, or do we need to?
Well, that is a question. The takedown right now, as Jay has it, is January 2nd. I'm a little concerned about availability of a crew to help us move, and the moving company that volunteered this year and next year to move us for free. That is a 3-day weekend, and I'm pretty sure most everybody won't be here or will not be.
what's one more day?
Yeah, it's really, basically, if we
need to
move
do
it
it on the
into the
weekend.
next week in the weekend, we would be fine. It would just be a little bit longer. The work that the maintenance employees do, it usually takes us about a day. It takes Arliss and them a little bit longer, and then the guy that moves the building, he moved it so fast this year, I missed him. I got down, I saw it sitting on the side of the road. He'd already picked it up. He called me, said, I'm fixing to move it. By the time I got there, he's already gone, already parked in the parking lot. So
It's amazing.
it doesn't take very long. So Arliss's problem is with all the volunteers. It's all volunteer work to take it down. So it takes just about as long to take it down as it does to put it up. So, you know, a Saturday works real good for them, I believe.
That's usually the only time they're available.
Right, 'cause it's all volunteers, so.
Yeah.
Especially Ablay's Firefighters Moving Company, they work during the week, and they have volunteered to move us
I don't see any problem with that at all, do you?
the following weekend.
I don't see any problem.
Okay, so you want to, what would be that Saturday then? Do you know?
I think that's the 9th. I don't have a calendar in front of me.
It is.
Is it?
9th? Okay, so
It's
you
a
just
little
want-
longer than we normally
No,
want to leave it up, but
So it's just from 11/20/2020 until 1/9 of 2021.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can do that
On or
amendment.
before, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
we would do it as quickly as we can, for
Yeah.
sure.
that's fine, and if you can do it, works out for y'all, I don't mind looking at it. It kind of puts me in a better mood when I see Santa's house out there. Do I hear a motion?
We've heard a lot of wonderful comments this year.
Yes.
And support, 6,748.
That's a lot of people. That is. Okay. Do I hear a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the use of historic courthouse gazebo for Santa House and southwest corner of historic courthouse lawn for Santa Reading House to be up to like a 12 by 12 size, right? Or roughly that size, bigger than the last one.
Yes, sir.
On 11/20/2020 until takedown on or before 1/9/21.
That works.
I'm good.
I'll second that.
Okay. Motion's been made in second regarding Santa's house and the Reading House. Any further discussion? Call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Again, thank you for all the good work you do, for those good kids, and for the city, too. Thank you. If that's old Santa himself out of
Santa's here.
disguise, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all do real good things there. That's great. And again, you can see how important Jay Riley is to the county here. He's got the next one, too. Receive update on the fire alarm panel at the jail.
Okay, this was the last time I came in here, we talked about that. We were red tagged at that time. It kind of got bad there for a little bit. The jail commission got involved with it for a little bit, and they put them on 15-minute fire watch, so I panicked. Because I know they're short on that, and it makes it harder on the guys. So what I did, the second guy that I had coming in that I hadn't talked to you about, that company is Western States Fire Protection. They came out, did a walkthrough, looked at it, thought they could help us out. And so they sent me a proposal, and I got it, and it was cheaper than the previous proposal that I'd got from Chris Ledoux. It was actually $10,000 less. Okay? But during that walkthrough that I did with that company, they found some deficiencies in the way our fire alarm is set up. One of them, the way we're currently set up, our duct detectors and everything, you have to get into the crawl space in the jail in order to test them. Well, after going through some of the records, we had found out a few of those hadn't really been getting checked the way they were supposed to. So they made a second proposal, their first proposal, to repair the entire system, replace the panel, replace all of the, they verified everything I was told before. Everything that we have now is currently obsolete. And that's replacing duct detectors, that's replacing smoke alarms. But they did an add-on on that. And that add-on is for the duct detectors, and it's a $5,000 add-on. What that does is that allows us to remotely test those, to not have to go up in the crawl space. Plus, it gives an indicator panel on every one of those duct detectors and the status that they're in. So, having said that, I didn't save you a lot of money, but if we go with this plan, which I presume that would, that's still less than the original amount we asked for, that would bring us to $54,800. This is an expandable system, and it's better than the one we got. It's non-proprietary. So that non-proprietary means any licensed fire protection company can work on it. The one we currently have that's obsolete right now, there's only about 3 companies, because the folks that manufacture that particular fire system, they only let certain companies work on it, Chris Pledue being one of those. So that's where that's at. We did get it off of the red tag. I had a technician from Western States come back the next week. We looked it over. He figured out how to make the system work. We tested the system, and it works. He removed the red tag. We put a white tag on it, which basically that's confidence that it will function. We still need to change it, of course, but we got everybody off their 15-minute fire watch, got them back to doing their regular job again, and we're good right now. That bought me some time to get this system installed. The good part about this system, it'll all be new. We're utilizing the wires that are there. I'll get CAD drawings on it. I'll have all the drawings on it. We'll be able to go forward with a set of drawings for something that we've actually got working. Something I don't have right now on the existing. So I just want to give you an update on where we're at on that.
I think it's good. Once again, that's good. We already approved the money, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's already been approved. I just wanted to be sure that y'all knew what I was doing.
Good. You know, being in the service, I had to be on fire watch, and I didn't mind it when I was on fire watch, but some of the idiots that were in my company was on fire watch. It kind of concerned me. I slept with one eye open. And the next time you need some fire watch people, J.C. Campbell said he's been on a lot of fire watches, and he's volunteered his time. He'd be glad to take it down at the sheriff's office, so give us a call. All right. Good deal. Thank you for the report, Jay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Item number 5, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve issuance of RFP. That stands for Request for Procurement for outside auditors, as current contract is ending with Ide Bailey. Ms. Walters.
Good morning. How are you all?
Good. Are you leaving, Ms. Walters?
No. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Our contract will end this year with Ide Bailey. We normally do an RFP. So I did a request of my listserv on how other counties did it. I had about 10 or 12 responses, and it was pretty much cut between an RFQ and an RFP. There was only one that had exempted it. Now, I did talk to Matt about if it could be exempted, and he said, yeah, probably so, but the Bear County that I talked to, they exempted it, and then they were audited by the state. And in that audit, the state said, unless it's an emergency, you should at least do an RFQ to back up why you're selecting somebody. So with that, I don't recommend exempting it. The past courts, and I realize this is a new court, and that's one reason I'm talking to you today, they wanted to be very involved in this process. So they asked for interviews. If we're going to do interviews, I need to put that in the RFP that they may be required prior to a decision or grading, so that you have the opportunity, if you choose, to interview anybody that's put in a proposal. You do not have to. It's totally your call, because we've only done it one time ever, and that was the last time. The last time we did this, actually Davis Kennard out of Abilene won the bid. Well, then I.D. Bailey and them merged unbeknownst to us, and that's how we have them now. I know there have been some issues, and so I don't have an opinion as to whether you need to do interviews or not. That's totally up to y'all. What we would do if we don't have interviews is when we open these RFPs, and I'll do an RFP because that way they give us their pricing. In an RFQ, according to local government code, you cannot ask for pricing. You have to look at their qualifications and select them solely on that. You develop your list of what rank they are. You go to the first one and you try to negotiate a contract price that you can live with or they're willing to do. If you can't, you tell them thank you and you move to the second one, and you keep doing that process until you get one. An RFP, they have to submit their pricing, and that's why I think we've done it that way always. So it'd be my suggestion we do the RFP, but again, I defer to you as to whether you want interviews or not. The grading method we use is a weighted evaluation, but it involves all the court members. They are actually the ones that read these proposals and the way the company presents itself as to how you grade the questions. And the questions are all related to different things that are in the RFP as to what they're going to do. It also involves the auditor and Shelley Berry, because we also engage them for our juvenile and adult probation departments. So there's 7 evaluators. We then take the percentage points that you put in the weighted evaluation for each vendor, and we divide them by 7 to come up with an average score. Whoever ranks the highest of those average scored is who we normally suggest. So I need to know if you are comfortable with this process and want to proceed with it that way.
Did I hear you say that there was an issue if you exempted out from doing an RFQ?
Not from an RFQ, but exempted it from anything. There is a discretionary exemption under professional services.
So it's strictly our choice whether we do an RFQ or we go right to an RFP?
Yes. An RFQ will take you longer,
Yep.
if that matters.
And the last process was an RFP process?
It's always been an RFP process here.
And that included these interviews?
Yes, as long as I stated in the RFP that they will be required.
And we've got 3 new members up here who have, all 3 of us haven't been involved in any of those yet. So are we,
When does Ida Bailey's contract up?
It's not till this summer. This is just a huge amount of information that we have to have and get. So I always start it early in the year. I mean, I can wait a month, but I wouldn't wait too much longer than a month to put it out. We generally try to have it done by May because then it's awarded and the new vendor has time to do what they need to do to get ready to take over our business.
In the past, we haven't done RFQs to select our auditor?
Nope.
Just an RFP?
Yep.
and let me tag on to that. The RFQ is, we've got to select them to find out what they're going to pay, what they're going to charge.
That is correct.
But not in the interview. You just interview them to their qualifications.
Yeah.
Without
Without
the price.
You don't, and like I said, if you don't feel like you need to interview them, you do not have to. But that's something the last court did request. But the one before that, they did not.
I thought you just said we've never done an RFQ.
It wasn't an RFQ.
Oh.
It was in the RFP that they.
That did an interview in the RFP.
Yes.
Oh.
And that was the 5 people of the Commissioners Court, you and Shelley, were the 7.
No, it was actually Stan McBroom, our former.
This will be my first.
That'll be her first.
Your first rodeo?
My first rodeo.
It was Stan McBroom and Shelley.
So personally, in my take on it today is I'd like to hear from the other commissioners what they have to say about the process.
Okay.
And
I'm sorry, I did not realize they would not be here. I would have
because
waited.
I don't, like I say, and I'm not speaking for the judge and the other commissioner on the bench today, but, we're kind of new to the program, and I'd like to hear what they have to say about, Mr. Deaver, for instance, has been through it both ways, I would think.
But he won't be here for the audit next year.
Well, I know that, but I'd like to, from my perspective, I'd like to see how they feel about, both of them apparently have done it without doing the interviews, and then they've both been involved with the interviews, correct?
2015 was when we last
Oh,
bid
the
this
last one
out.
was 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So that would have just been James.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
If you would like, you're welcome to, delay this, table it for another court. That's fine. Like I said, I did not realize they would not be here, or I probably wouldn't have put it on.
Oh, I agree with Dave. I think we ought to table it, and we can get it on. I'd like to get started, though, too.
Right.
On the next
So
court.
I agree.
Let's table it until the next Commissioners Court meeting.
Okay.
Next Commissioners Court is February the 11th.
February the 11th?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Works for me.
You making a motion to table this?
I'll make a motion that we bring this back up on February the 11th,
Okay.
and then that'll give the other commissioners a chance to be involved and help teach me a little bit about what's happened in the past.
Okay. And y'all are welcome, if you want to really look at the documents from the last one we did, y'all are more than welcome to see them.
But let me ask, but Ida Bailey, there's been some issues with them, correct?
Yes.
And the last outfit that was chosen ended up getting bought by Ida Bailey, or merged with them.
That is correct.
I guess, Mr. Mills, you need to write that in the contract, that if you get merged or bought out by somebody else up there, we got the right to renegotiate with you. We may not
Actually, it
like.
does, it usually
Could have been bought by
states
somebody
that.
from New York City.
Yeah.
It usually states that in our RFPs that they can't do that, but we didn't even know it until we were in the middle of starting the audit.
I received a letter while they were here auditing us.
Yes. It was crazy.
Kind of an oh, by the way letter?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
They get their money up front, or did we pay them before?
Paying them after the fact.
No. You going to second that?
Second.
Okay, the motion has been made and second to table the RFP for outside auditors until the next full Commissioners Court, which is on Tuesday, February the 11th of 2020. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Okay, this brings us to item number 6, discuss and take appropriate action to allow the fire marshal to donate 8,000 feet of large diameter hose. What I like about this is that it takes 8,000 feet out of the fire marshal's department and gives it to the 8 volunteer fire departments and let them practice on it, and we don't have to store it, and they can still practice on it. That's kind of a win-win. I sure do like that. I think I thought of that, didn't I? No, I think that's I like that.
Judge, Commissioners, I believe that was your idea.
Yeah, that was a good idea, Judge.
That was not my idea, but anyway, I like the idea. But that's a really good idea. I guess all the volunteer fire departments want the hose too to practice with it, right?
Yes, sir. What I just gave you was request donations from each of the departments, requesting to use the old hose for training and whatever purposes they needed around the station for. It's 20-year-old hose that was on the truck when we originally delivered them, and it was starting to fail all of its pressure tests. So all of that hose has already been replaced. This is just the old hose that came off the trucks.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is just for training purposes, not for going out to try to fight a fire, because that's why we replaced it. It could burst and
Correct.
thing get out of control. So everybody said that that's what they would do, right?
Correct.
So
They may choose to make picnic tables out of it for all I know, but.
Did you see all of this notice? So this meets your approval?
Actually, he's given me all the letters from the volunteer fire department, so yes, it's legal to do this.
We're not restricting them what they do. They can do anything they want with hose once they've got it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Fine.
Okay. Well, with that, do I hear a motion on this?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to take appropriate action to we'll allow the fire marshal to donate 8,000 feet of used large diameter hose to each individual fire department.
I'll second that.
A motion been made and second to allow the fire marshal to note the 8,000 feet to the respective fire departments, volunteer fire departments, to be used for training purposes only. They've submitted letters understanding that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously, 3-0.
I got a question, though, now that we passed that.
Yes, sir.
We got 9 volunteer fire departments, right?
Correct.
Who got left out?
The city of Granberry did not have hose supplied. It's my understanding that when their truck came back from refurb, they had already replaced that hose anyway.
Okay.
So they didn't have any old...
Correct. Or it had already been,
taken care of.
something else had already happened with it. Yes, sir.
Campbell, you know anything about that disappearing fire hose?
We've been doing that for quite a few years.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, item number 7, consider and take appropriate action regarding fire marshal's request for authorization to allow take-home vehicles for out-of-county employees for the fire marshal's office. Fire marshal employees are recallable at any time and are assigned vehicles that are not shared. Can you kind of enlighten us a little bit on that, Jeff?
So the employees that I have at the fire marshal's office, they are expected to respond at any time of day or night, any day of the week, regardless. So they're asked to be recallable 24 hours a day. A lot of times, and I know even in my vehicle, when I respond to a scene, all of my tools and equipment and everything are in my vehicle. So it's basically their rolling office. The 2 new employees that we have both live outside of the county, and I'm sure after they've been here for a little while, they'll reconsider and want to move here, but for the time being, both of them live outside of the county.
If we didn't do this, what's going to happen if you didn't do it?
Well, if we didn't do this, if they got called to a scene, they would most likely have to drive to the office, pick up a vehicle, and then respond to wherever they're going. And in some cases, probably even drive past the scene of where they need to be. And so it would cause a delay in their response. by, I'm not sure how much time.
You know, we have a policy, I think, that says that we don't take county vehicles out of the county. I think there's a policy, I can't quote it.
Yes, sir, there is a policy in place, but there are exceptions that have been made.
We do have some exceptions to that?
Yes, sir. And it's usually for the recallable employees that are on call to respond to incidents.
Dave, you had something.
This is one of those issues where it's been called to my attention that in the past, we've had a little bit of issue with employees or out of county wanting to take a vehicle out. I am not philosophically against the concept, but again, I'm going to claim young court ignorance here, and I would prefer to have the rest of the court here. Can we get by for a couple of more weeks where we are now? It's the status quo, and have the entire court here to take a look at this again.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I mean, I'd rather for them, and like I said, they're going to want to live here in Hood County anyway as soon as they get a taste of it, so they'll be moving here anyway. And I don't want them to drive by a fire to come up there and get a vehicle. And the way I understand it, the fire marshal's department has 4 vehicles.
Yes, sir.
You and the other assistant fire marshal want to drive pickups, and then you have a Ford Expedition and a Chevrolet Tahoe that are available for the other 2. Am I right?
That is correct.
Well, for the other, we're going to discuss Jay Webster here just in a little bit here.
Yes, sir.
And then just a spare vehicle.
And I have one for reserves to use on the weekend on-calls.
That's right, for the reserves on call. So it's not like we're short vehicles or anything. It's probably in safety on the thing. And all we're doing is that we want the whole court here to do it. We have a quorum today, but let's get the input for the other ones on that.
Yes, sir.
So we can do it for 2 weeks until.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we can make it for 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks, okay?
Yes, sir.
But.
I'll make that motion then, Judge. We can just table item number 7.
Yeah, till February, what did we
The
say?
next court, February the 10th or?
11th.
February 11th.
All right.
I'll second the motion. Sounds like we pretty much got the agenda for the 11th worked out, so I'll second that motion.
Okay, good. All right, motion been made and second to table the item of allowing fire marshal employees to take the vehicles out of the county until the next full court of the commissioners on February the 11th of 2020. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thanks,
okay. Item 8, discuss and take appropriate action regarding the hiring and salary for deputy fire marshal. Yes, sir. You're up here again. And the sheriff.
Yes, sir. So what I'd like to do is, for those of you that don't know Jay Webster, he's got over 30 years' experience in emergency management and with the Texas DPS and in law enforcement. I believe Jay would make a great asset as we'd be hired under the fire marshal's office, but more on the lines of an emergency management specialist.
Okay. To the Texas Rangers get their employees from, and he'd have made a good one, but I sure would like him. This is Jay Webster here, and I can't tell you enough about him. I really do like him. I know Jeff Young likes him. I know Sheriff Deeds likes him, and I think everybody here will like him once they get to know him. So I understand that I'd like to make the motion that we hire Jay Webster and at a starting salary of $64,500, which I understand, plus his cert pay on the deal. And he's also told me that he's willing to get kind of cross-trained with the fire department so that Jay's willing to help the fire marshal's department. In fact, he's hired as an assistant fire marshal, deputy fire marshal. But I would like him to concentrate on this emergency management stuff. I bet you I get 15 to 20 pieces of mail a month asking me about emergency management stuff. I just don't have the time to look at it. The sheriff is trained this way too, but these 3 gentlemen like each other, get along with each other, so they're going to be able to really cross-reference and help each other out, which is what I like about this whole community. That's what I want us to do, is cooperation on everything. And I'd like to always take Jay with me when I got to go to the nuclear plant and all that. He knows everybody out there, and everybody knows him. So, Sheriff, would you back me up on that? Do you agree with what everything I said, most of it at least?
I do.
Good, you do. You willing to come down there and help out Hood County, Jay Webster?
That wouldn't be the first time. I've been here quite a bit helping y'all out, so it's kind of like being at home sometimes.
Good, good.
Becky, do you have
Becky,
a
looks
comment
like
here?
you want to talk.
Just for the for logistical purposes?
Judge, the salary, I would ask that you let me find the appropriate step and grade plan. I do not believe we have a step and grade at 64.5. I will find one that's that much or more, so that he's on the step plan, because he is classified as, what is the classification? You're hiring him as?
Deputy Fire Marshal.
Deputy Fire Marshal. If you'll let me find that, I will get that or more for you, sir. I just want to make
Okay.
sure it's in the step plan.
Okay, because we've been talking about him, and that's the number we threw out at him. I didn't,
Well, I believe
actually, I
it's-
didn't want anybody else to snatch him up, is what I was concerned about. So I want him here in Hood County. And so if you find 64.5 is what we're talking, plus his cert pay.
Yes, sir. I believe I
Every-
will be able to do 64,575. I just have to find it. So I just want to make sure that we're within the step plan, because I know I don't have that dollar amount. If you will allow me to do that.
Yes,
I'll let you do it.
Yes, I would let her do that. But does that take us to item 9? Is that what you're trying to do in item 9 there? Or is that different?
It's different from item.
Oh, okay, then I'll wait. Okay.
Yeah, but that just allows me to make sure he's on the step and grade plan.
Is that the same thing as number 9 here, is discuss, take appropriate action
No,
to approve and amend it? That's a different deal?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, good.
Anyway, I'll second with that caveat.
Okay.
I'll second
Good.
it. I thought he was an FBI agent back there.
Well, you can see with these three guys up here can work together up here. And if he told you to do something after 30 years as a DPS officer and a captain, you know, that's the other deal. When you have a disaster and you're trying to evacuate something, I'm pretty sure that anybody that Jay Webster talks to is going to know who he is, and he's going to know who to call. He's got a telephone right here, probably has everybody's phone number to get us all safely out of the county and into someplace else. So, having said that, you better do a good job, Jay. Okay.
Only way to go, right down now.
Okay, all right. All those in favor of the motion with the caveat and second by Commissioner, made by Commissioner.
You made the motion.
I made the motion,
And
that's
seconded
right.
by
I made the motion.
Mr. Eagle, didn't you?
I second it with a caveat.
With a caveat. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay, you're hired. All right.
Welcome.
We're going to figure out everything else as we go. Okay. Now, discuss and take appropriate action to approve amended 2020 budget salary position spreadsheet. Okay, what does that mean?
Well, let's eliminate this. We have changed this 3 times since we approved it back when we approved budgets. It has become cumbersome for the court, and I would just like to eliminate this spreadsheet so we don't have to go through this again.
What does that do for you? Or what does that do, now what does that do for us?
It's
Yeah, what does it
time-
do for
every
us?
time- Every time you want to change something, we have to come back and reapprove this. So that eliminates the need for that. We have a budget, we have a salary spreadsheet. Nothing will be out of the ordinary, nothing will be approved that's not proper. But this is just a spreadsheet that ties a person, a position to a salary, and we've changed 2 in this court. And we changed 1 a couple of courts ago, and this is just,
Is this cumbersome to do?
well, it's cumbersome to keep up with and make sure that everything's proper.
Well, hopefully we don't have to do this anymore. I mean, it was our position that we wanted to not do it, but certain times in life, everything's not picture perfect. So you got a situation that comes along like this with the Fire Marshal's Department. I hope this fixes it. Personally, I'd rather leave it like this because we have hired the people to do the
Well, and I think it gives transparency. If we do something like this, it sounds like it might be outside of policy of what we've set, then it needs to come to court. We need to air it out and be transparent about what we're doing.
I just love seeing you try to shuck and jive up here, and I like everybody to know what we're doing.
Why we're doing it.
Yeah, I don't mind
Let me,
doing it. Yeah.
when are we going to get results on our salary survey and all that?
Nelda?
It'll be probably May.
So we're looking at a fairly short fuse on that issue, and there may be something that that may dovetail into this issue at that point in time, and we can reevaluate.
I was just looking at not burdening the court with doing this every other time.
No, I don't mind doing it. That's a small price to pay for transparency and letting everybody know we're not doing anything out of the ordinary. I kind of like that.
So I can make the motion that I'm going to allow you to amend the 2020 budget salary spreadsheet.
Okay. That's not a problem at all. I didn't want to burden the court.
Okay, just amend it. Okay.
You're going to update it to make these things that we just did fit into the spreadsheet.
Okay, I'll second.
Okay, motion been made and second to amend the 2020 budget salary position spreadsheet. So, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries 3-0. Okay, item number 10. Okay, are you Carrie?
Yes, sir.
Dyer?
Yes, we know,
Yes, sir.
Carrie.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. My purpose here today is to ask the Commissioners Court to approve the dates for this year's Granberry Living Christmas Card event. Along with the numerous amazing holiday events that take place in and around the square, the Granberry Living Christmas Cards has become a biennial tradition on the second weekend in December, spreading hope and good cheer, as well as bringing thousands of visitors to our fine town square for a family-friendly celebration of Christmas. The event is staffed, financed, and produced by Lakeside Baptist Church, and we've enjoyed in past years a good relationship and cooperation with the city of Granberry and Hood County. The appropriate event applications and insurance forms have already been submitted to the city and are currently under review. So we're asking Your Honor and his fellow commissioners to approve the second weekend in December, more specifically December 11th and 12th, for Lakeside to hold the Granberry Living Christmas Cards on the courthouse square.
Okay. Now, you just heard us, and I saw you sitting out there about the Santa's house and stuff.
Yes.
Y'all had it this past year, and it doesn't interfere or conflict with Santa's house at all,
It doesn't.
does
We
it?
work with Arliss, and as a matter of fact, Santa usually makes an appearance at our event. We work with them, and it's been a good relationship. Our big Christmas cards don't in any way obstruct or get in the way of their gazebo workshop, and so we have worked in conjunction with them each year, so.
Boy, I like that.
The more the merrier.
The more the merrier, and everybody gets along at Christmas time. Yep. That's great.
As a matter of fact, I know the creative director for our event. I could even ensure a song and dance solo for each one of the commissioners that would be willing to be a part of it this year, so.
Well, based upon that last
Bad case.
representation, I make a motion that we approve the request from Kerry Dyer to hold the Granberry Living Christmas Cards event on the courthouse square on December the 11th and 12th, 2020, contingent upon y'all receiving a city
approval.
application
Yes, sir.
event, proof of insurance. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that one.
Second by Commissioner,
With the song and dance caveat.
with the, gotta have the song and dance.
As long as he does the singing, that's all.
Thank you
He's
so
good.
much.
By Commissioner,
Thanks, Kerry.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much, Kerry, for coming down here and presenting that. You do a great job every year, and everybody loves seeing that too, by the way. So,
Judge, was the consent agenda ever approved?
Yes, I made
Yes,
the
it-
motion.
yeah, it was. But thank you for checking on me. It's Faye.
And I had my mic on, so you should have heard that.
Yeah. You talk about keeping you honest right here. She will too. Okay. That being all the business we have, I'm going to adjourn this meeting. Thank y'all very much for coming.